say, these female rappers that y'all ass look up to, they got men at home that they cook for and listen to. That's why they got the shit that they got. They use you stupid bird brain assholes as crash outs.
You see here with this girl, I seen it on Instagram, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna talk about this. I did a similar video on the main channel talking about female rappers be capping too, and they do be capping. They be talking about all this, you know, F and ninja, but you know, that ain't really the lifestyle that they living. And I remember some years ago, people got on Sierra for being in the booth talking about, shout out to all the single women, but you married. You know, and women never really look at the messenger. You look at Dr. Umar, you know, they just, you know, like Umar because he say black queens forever, snow bunnies never. They never ask themselves why Umar ain't married to a black woman, why he a baby daddy, he got baby mamas, right? But hit the link in the description, join the Patreon. But she makes an interesting point. These rappers, female rappers are telling y'all F a ninja, but they all laid up with a ninja. They telling y'all, you know, SRT, Hellcats, woo, woo, woo. But then they making a nigga play. They cooking for a dude. I remember Offset exposed Cardi B. Talking about, I don't cook, I don't clean. And he put her on live. Talking about, look, she believe that shit she's saying. She don't cook, she don't clean. And I don't really think they understand how detrimental their music are. It is. Because young women really thinking, I don't have to do nothing. And that's where that talking point come from. And that's where a lot of the prostitution talking points come from, to keep it honest, is that the female rappers are saying, oh, F a nigga, I don't do nothing for it. Nigga, I spread my coochie cheeks open for it. My booty cheek and give him coochie, give him head. That's all the nigga want. Put him in bed. You know, they say that. You know, Lotto was sitting here talking about I don't have a high body count and, you know, all this. And she's, you know, LeBron was like, I like how she represent her. And then she got knocked up by a married nigga. Now she talking about, he ain't married. I ain't trying to hear that shit. You got knocked up by a married nigga, green card arrangement or not. Him and that chick got kids. Out of all the men in the world, you go pick a married ninja. You know what I'm saying? Cardi B get pregnant and go on tour, which is disgraceful in the way she got pregnant by Stephon Diggs. And then Lotto do the same shit. They are what do you call it? Yeah, I mean, they just followers. They're sheep. Women have a sheep mentality, bro. They rarely blaze their own trails. They barely do something original. Don't forget, B. Simone stole that chick book and tried to act like she didn't know it until she got exposed for it. And at least she admitted to it and broke old girl off. But we know they don't create too much original shit, bro. So, but these female rappers are telling these women, you know, the bad advice, but they doing the right advice. They cooking, they cleaning, they being submissive to niggas and shit. Nicki turned around and got married. You know what I'm saying? Cardi got married. You know, and they looking at guys, and even the ones that's not married, like Ari Fletcher, or that's not a musician, but people that's in that hip hop sphere. The dangerous things about Pookies and these Pookie gangster rappers, they really mess it up. They always talk about rappers glorifying tricking today. Yeah, I mean, okay, that's the problem. That's a detriment. But what's more is a detriment is when they marry these promiscuous women. That's another issue. They marry these promiscuous women in the industry that have been with two or three or four more people in the industry, or they have children with them, and then they share rappers share baby mama. And to a lot of the young women, they believe that's, you know, oh, if she can do it, I can do it. She got a BBL, she got a tummy tuck, I look just as good as her. I can go out here and be a baby mama, or I can go out here and have a history and have body counts and still get chose. That's the dangerous thing about the Pookies. They the biggest simps. But back to the topic, yeah, but women don't never look at the actual facts. Even when you start talking about statistics, even when somebody debunked the statistic about black women being the most educated, they don't really hear what you're saying. When you look at the financials and say, black men make more than black women, they don't believe that. They don't never look at the evidence, the facts. You know, they just go what sounds good and what fits their narrative. That's it. And then their famous thing is when they make these mistakes throughout life, their famous thing is, I didn't know. I didn't know. That's what the famous thing that they say is, I didn't know. And it's really a lie. They knew. They knew. What these women are selling is as detrimental as gangster music and trap music was back in the day. It's very detrimental. Because these young girls think, oh, fucking nigga, I be useless. They use this prostitution talk that these female rappers and singers sing about. And then go out there and it don't work for them. And then they blame the men. But how you present, what's so funny, how you present yourself. Women just look at how they present themselves and aesthetics and how they look. But they don't really think about the whole thing. They don't really think about the full presentation of being presentable, speaking nicely. You got all those tattoos, man. Like, no, you can't be. They make a lot of permanent decisions, man, as far as being on sex tapes, doing porn, being naked. You know, and they think they can recover from that because they look at the few pookie rappers cuffing these dudes, but they don't look at the dudes that's in respectable, you know, business, the lawyers. And, you know, they say they don't like the lawyers and the white collar, some of the blue collar workers, but they be fixated on the athletes, and they see why. They don't understand why the athletes choose, you know, those type of women that they choose, the Beckys, or maybe it was Terry McLaren. He married his childhood best friend. And they were saying that, oh, she don't look that good and he could have did better. And in the black community, what's so funny is they think it's all about looks. They'll go around and talking about, oh, don't marry for love. White women don't marry for love. They marry for, y'all marry for looks. Y'all be marrying for height. Y'all marry if he gangster, if he got that swagger. Y'all marry, y'all don't even marry for love. That's the funny thing about it. Y'all marry what y'all grew up around. Watching hip hop, watching rap, being in the hood. Proximity is everything when you start to talk about molding a young person's mind. A lot of these girls, the guys that they was around, and guys, but when we talking about the girls, that's who they grew up attracted to. You real talk? What they seen on TV, what they seen in their neighborhood. But they don't even think about their presentation. How they speak well, how they talk, how they carry themselves, where they get tattoos at invisible places, the nose ring. And you instantly for the community, you instantly for the streets, you instantly for a good time. A lot of you women, and then even when y'all do things to disqualify yourself, the tattoos, the tongue rings, the septum rings, you know, all that stuff, y'all don't even make up with personality. Y'all don't even make up with personality or caring or loving or know how to cook or show feminine traits to show that you will be a great mother. And none of that. Y'all don't show none of those qualities. None of them. None of them. And then y'all wonder, y'all failing in the looks department. As far as, you know, the tongue rings and nose rings and all that, and how you dressing and stuff, y'all failing in that department. Then y'all don't speak well. Like, come on, man. I be hating to get behind people who don't know how to drive. Brother. I'm sorry, dog. These people don't know how to drive. Dude, y'all just sitting at a fucking light when you can fucking turn. Jesus Christ. And it's just like, fuck, do y'all not know how to drive? I just cut somebody off. I know they mad. Fucking nigger. I'm out here in one of them areas. But that's what they saying. But no, man, they be like, they don't know how to drive out here. They don't know how to drive in general. That's what I'm looking like. If I can make a left turn behind two cars, why couldn't y'all both make the left turn? I literally don't be understanding people not knowing how to drive. But then again, there's so many illegals out here who can't drive in general. That's the issue. But back to what I was saying. Enough of my road rants. They don't think about the presentation, but they think about it. But in general, the female rappers are very detrimental. They're very influential and detrimental, and they're not living what they rap. They're not, you know, they not being the they doing all this shit for men, but they not doing the shit, but they not rapping about the shit they really doing. But then again, anything you go on TikTok, you know, can you blame them? When your rap career is tied to your income, and when you in hip hop, I mean, in general, regardless, Caucasians, you know, black women, Maria, when you go on TikTok, when you start talking about what you do for a man and what you do for your husband, I bought my husband this, I did this for my husband, I did this to be a wife, you a pick me, and they start shaming women. So can you blame women? But then the women just look at the virtual reality of it, the falseness of, the rap lyrics, and, she her own woman. And when you look at Beyonce, got a husband. You look at Cardi B, still technically got a husband. You know what I'm saying? You look at Lotto, took somebody else's husband. You know, you look at Nicki, got a husband. So they don't really understand it, bro. When you try to sit down and talk to women and have that conversation with young women and women in general, and it's just like, let them be miserable. And it's kind of really better for men that those type of women, you know, be out here, because there's more community cooch for everybody else. Don't think I'm not married, I'm not effing, man, no, they still, chickens be clucking and chickens still be fucking. What Biggie say? Wait, the link in description, join the Patreon, peace.